In this video, I'm going to show you how to isolate colors in a reference photo. Isolating colors is extremely helpful for determining the main paints that you'll use in a painting. The first thing we'll do is create a new layer and then pull down a few guides to make it easier to align the color swatches that we'll make. I like to keep everything separated on different layers because it keeps things organized, and any changes that you want to make down the road are a lot easier. The easiest way to create a new guide, by the way, is to go up to View, New Guide, and then you have the option to choose from a vertical guide or a horizontal guide. As you can see here, I am making 6 by 6 inch boxes between the vertical and horizontal guides, and that's where the color swatches will go. Then we'll take the eyedropper tool to pick colors. Let's start with the sky. Notice how the sky is darker at the top and lighter at the bottom. It's not a super dramatic gradient, so I think 2 colors should be just fine. And one thing to note is I'm trying to get approximations, because once I actually blend up these colors and put them on my palette, I can tweak them with other colors as I go. What you just saw me do was select the rectangular marquee tool and set it to 6 inches by 6 inches, and then select the upper left swatch box. You can see by the dotted lines. And now I've pulled up the fill box. So the fill box will fill in that space that I've just selected, and I have it set at the foreground color, which is what we want, and we'll make it 100% opacity. So now we've got our first swatch. Now let's zoom in and use the eyedropper tool to click on a color at the bottom of the sky, and we'll move over to the swatches, use the rectangular marquee tool, edit, fill, foreground color, okay. So now we've got the sky swatches good to go. Now let's use the eyedropper tool to select a color for the bark and the leaves that are on the ground. I'm only going to use one color for the bark. This will be the base layer of my painting, so I'll pick the darkest color because I can always put lighter colors, details, and texture on top in the next layers. For the leaves on the ground, I can see 3 general colors, a dark, a medium, and a light. There are also patches of bright leaves where the sun is hitting the ground. Every pixel you select will be a different color than the pixel beside it, so you can select once, twice, 3 times until you get a color that feels right to you. You know, looking at this, I see a lot of red and purple undertones, so I'm making sure that shows up in the colors that I'm selecting. Lastly, I'll choose colors for the leaves on the trees. I can see about 4 main colors, a dark and a medium, a light for the moss, and then a bright green for the leaves that are getting hit by the sun. If you're having trouble isolating a color, you can always use the polygonal lasso tool and select an area and then go up to Filter, Blur, Average, and it will create a perfect blend of all of the colors in that space. I want to see this color more clearly, so I'm going to double click on the foreground color box, which pulls up the color picker box. This shows the 6-digit hex code for the color, and this is helpful because I wouldn't have guessed there was this much blue in the moss. The color picker box is great for giving guidance around a color's undertones. Like when I go to mix the color for this moss, I'll probably add more blue paint than I initially would have guessed. The final swatch we'll make will be for the bright leaves that are backlit by the sun. So this will be a yellower color than the other leaves. As you're creating swatches, make sure that you're being mindful of your layers and that all of your color swatches are on the same layer. Because once you finish creating all of them, it's helpful to add a layer of neutral gray underneath. Having this neutral gray layer helps you see the true value of each swatch without the distraction of the background. You can then leave this gray layer visible as you mix up the paints on your neutral gray palette. This really helps with color accuracy. Because this is a big painting and I paint slowly, I'm going to mix up all of my main paints at the beginning and store them in these tubes so that I have color consistency over time and between layers. There's a lot of ways to go about this, and I encourage you to find whatever way works best for you and how you paint. Please give this video a like if you found it helpful. Feel free to ask any questions and let me know what other Photoshop techniques you'd like to know more about.